You work harder every year. Your salary goes up, and somehow you still can't afford to live where you live. That's not bad luck. That's by design. Rent in major cities has doubled in a decade, and some places tripled. Wages? Up maybe 20%. And every year, economists go on television and explain why this is complicated. Spoiler? It isn't that complicated. The machine is just working exactly the way it was built to. The story you've been told goes like this. There aren't enough houses. Supply is low, demand is high, prices go up. Basic economics. And that part, actually true. But here's what they leave out. Why supply is low is not an accident. It's a choice, made by people who benefit enormously from the shortage. Because the people deciding how many homes get built also own the homes that already exist. Zoning laws were supposed to protect neighborhoods. What they actually do is make it illegal to build enough housing in the places people actually want to live. Single-family zoning in major cities means you cannot replace one house with 10 apartments, by law. Who keeps those laws in place? Homeowners. Who votes in local elections at extraordinary rates? Homeowners. Their property value goes up every time a new apartment isn't built nearby. They're not villains. They're acting in perfect rational self-interest, which makes the whole thing much harder to fix than if it were just greed. And then a new player entered the game, and they didn't need to live there at all. After 2008, when housing crashed, institutional investors bought up hundreds of thousands of single-family homes at rock-bottom prices, not to live in, to rent out. Companies like Blackstone, Invitation Homes, Progress Residential, they didn't invent the problem, but they industrialized it. When a corporation owns 10,000 homes in a metro area, they don't compete on price, they coordinate on price. Your landlord isn't your neighbor anymore. It's an algorithm optimizing yield, and an algorithm doesn't care if you can afford it. In 2022, a whistleblower lawsuit alleged that major corporate landlords were using shared software, RealPage, to coordinate rental pricing across cities. Not a cartel in the classic sense, just software, recommending that everyone raise rent at the same time. The Department of Justice opened an investigation. The rents didn't come down. But here's the part that nobody in this conversation wants to say out loud. High rents aren't just a housing problem. When you spend 40, 50, 60% of your income on rent, you can't save, you can't invest, you can't buy property and join the side of this equation that wins. The wealth gap between renters and owners isn't widening because renters are bad at money. It's widening because the system produces exactly this outcome, and the people who benefit from it have very little incentive to change it. Every year that rents stay high is a year that wealth transfers, quietly, from the people who work in cities to the people who own them. So, will rent ever go down? In isolated places, temporarily, yes, but the structure that keeps it high, zoning, investor incentives, political inertia, that doesn't change fast, and it doesn't change without cost to someone who currently benefits. The question isn't whether housing is affordable. The question is, affordable for whom, and who decides? Next time, we look at the city that tried to actually fix this, and what happened to them.